KSP project that provides customized policy recommendations to partner countries based on Korea's economic development experiences and knowledge. The Togolese Republic is located on the west coast of Africa. Although it established the National Tax Service at the end of 2012 and started to reform the tax system and customs services, the status of the national tax revenues are still unstable. Due to insufficient taxation system and a lack of management system, it is facing a problem of insufficient tax revenue compared to fiscal demand for potential tax revenue. And it shows low capability to respond to external shocks. The Togo government requested support from the Korean government for policy recommendations for analyzing the tax system and constructing taxpayer data and support the establishment of a master plan for the establishment of an integrated national tax system. Accordingly, the Export-Import Bank of Korea and the African Development Bank started the project of forecast, information systems, and collection of tax and customs revenue in Togo. From October 2020 to August 2021, the Korea Institute of Public Finance served as the implementing agency to present a plan to modernize Togo's tax system, and presented a plan to modernize Togo's tax administration, and laid a foundation for forecasting revenue and establishing the master plan for the integrated national tax system. What is the current status of tax system of the partner country, Togo? Togo's tax revenue has increased significantly since 2012. The taxation environment has also improved. This is the result of the active tax reform with the goal of simplifying the tax system, improving tax system efficiency, expanding value-added tax refunds, and fostering tax sources after the establishment of the National Tax Service, which integrates inland tax and customs duties. Thanks to that, it has been called the most successful tax reform case among the French-speaking African countries. But there are still more steps to go. First, registration and management of taxpayers are not systematic, making it difficult to build reliable tax data. Second, development of documentary taxation is facing limitations due to informal economy and tax evasion. Third, given the surge in government spending due to economic stimulus and increased demand for healthcare and medical services, while tax revenue has decreased due to the aftermath of COVID-19, the national debt is at risk of getting worse. In response to this, the Togolese government is preparing for another leap forward. The plan is to achieve sustainable development of the country in the future through stabilized tax revenue and domestic resource management. It's the critical time and need for policy advice that will become the driving force for a new leap forward. As the first step in implementing the task, an in-depth analysis was conducted on the current state of Togo's tax system and the capabilities of the National Tax Service. The analysis found the necessity of modernizing the tax administration and as specific tax for items to improve, establishment of taxpayer tax data, improvement of tax administration system functions, strengthening of transparency of tax sources, and strengthening of collection capabilities were presented. Afterwards, the tax administration modernization process of Korea for each task has been presented, and through comparison and analysis, a tax administration modernization implementation plan tailored to Togo was proposed. These are comparison and analysis of Korean cases. The key in Korea's tax administration modernization is the taxpayer registration and management system. The resident registration system and business registration system, which are the foundations, have established taxpayer tax data through providing taxpayer ID numbers and contributed to establishment of an efficient tax administration system that utilizes the information system. E-taxation was completed with a combination of schemes and systems. After the introduction of the National Tax Integration System, it has been constantly changing in the direction of tax base expansion through normalization and improving tax administration efficiency through home tax, cash receipts, year-end settlement simplification, big data center, etc. Korea's e-taxation greatly contributes to stabilizing the national fiscal demand by realizing a large amount of taxation data collection and advanced tax source analysis, and by strengthening tax-based transparency and securing timeliness of taxation. The integrated national tax system introduced in 1997 can be said to be the turning point in the taxation infrastructure beyond e-taxation. The National Tax Service connects to tax offices across the country through a single computer network and has set up an online system for each function. When transitioning to the next generation integrated national tax system in 2015, the key functions on home tax, a public service, were integrated and preemptive services for taxpayers were provided, which led to home tax usage rate of 97.2%. Administrative efficiency was also improved by applying the latest IT technologies such as big data and AI to the taxation database obtained from the system. As for connecting to the system, it is essential to preemptively prepare laws and systems. Korea recognized the need to link taxation data in the process of modernizing its tax administration and created laws and systems to effectively utilize taxation data. The Act on the Submission and Management of Taxation Data and the Administrative Information Joint Use System are those. This served as a basis for consensus for using the computerized data among the institutions in the e-government development process and connecting with the integrated system. What became the signpost and many crossroads until the current national finances of the Republic of Korea became possible was the direction light called modernization of tax administration. As a result, Korea was able to expand tax base by normalization and reduce the compilation costs and strengthen the collection capabilities. Korea was able to increase the tax base transparency by achieving 98.1%, 98.05% average e-tax report rate of major tax items, and growing the private consumption tax base reporting rate. Compared to just 10 years ago, the collection capabilities have also improved significantly. The current collection efficiency is at the top level in the world, and as of 2013, the collection cost as a percentage of GDP was 0.099%, which was the second lowest among 34 OECD countries after the United States. In this project, online training was conducted for 3 days in May 2021 to strengthen the capabilities of the relevant Togo's government officials, and a preliminary demand survey, video lecture materials, real-time Q&A, and discussion were carried out. The lecture topics were Korea's economic development and e-taxation, Korea's value-added tax system to improve transparency of transactions and protection of taxpayers' rights. And the lectures confirmed the importance of tax policies and e-taxation in the process of economic development in Korea, and informed the VAT system applicable to Togo in details. In order to improve the low affinity of the taxpayers in Togo's tax system, the lectures made sure to educate on the Korea's history of protecting the rights and interests of taxpayers and education on major systems. The online training due to COVID-19 actually became an opportunity for more trainees to participate. As a result, the project has secured an important human resource that can be the driving force for the project, as a total of 146 trainees from the Togo National Tax Service have responded positively. High level of satisfaction with the training program and demand for additional programs followed, and more than anything, it was a valuable time for Togolese officials to develop their will to change. The purpose of this project is to identify the most urgent and needed items through comparative analysis with Korea's advanced cases after accurately diagnosing the current state of Togo and to present them. As a result, KIPF established a step-by-step implementation plan to modernize Togo's tax administration that can be represented by establishment of tax data, establishment of a master plan for integrated national tax system, and improvement of the value-added tax gap. First, in the taxation data building stage, the tax base is expanded through taxpayer registration and management by doing things such as general purpose identification system or business registration system, and establish a system that can contain the computerized taxation date per taxpayer. Second, in the e-taxation stage, cash use is reduced and tax-based transparency is increased with the introduction of a system centered on income tax and value-added tax and progress, and the plan moves forward to completion of the integrated national tax system. Third, in the system linkage stage, the basis for establishment of e-government, such as regulations on the obligation to submit taxation data and public use of administrative information, is prepared, and the tax collection capabilities of tax collection are maximized by linking computerized data between the National Tax Service and other taxpayer information management agencies. Lastly, the final policy implication was presented. To achieve effective modernization of tax administration, policies, schemes, and systems should be advanced at the same time at each stage. The detailed implementation plan for each stage is designed to be carried out in line with establishment of taxpayer taxation data, which is Togo's tax administration advancement strategies, improvement of tax policy and tax administration system, and fair taxation and efficient tax administration. Going forward, the project will continue to promote cooperative measures with the Togo government, led by the Togo National Tax Service, and support successful implementation of modernization of tax administration. A healthy national economy that is the basis of happiness of the citizens. KSP Project brings happiness to Togo.